What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about the top 5 short squeeze stocks that you need to add to your watch list going into this upcoming week. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with stock number 5, not in any particular order though, you have ticker MOGO sitting at $2.20. Did pull back a little bit on Thursday, so it went down 14.4%, but still over the last 5 days up 74.63%, and that's factoring in the pullback on Thursday. Couple things to note: this is the 52-week range market cap, so I'm not really going to bring that up in every case, so feel free to pause it and go through it if necessary. Aside from that though, seasonality over the last 9 years, it does go up on average in July 11.3%. So for those of you that are looking for some additional kind of data, this definitely goes to show that we are in a very good month, and this stock does do fairly well. This is the company profile. Again, if that floats your boat, pause it and read through it, but it is based out of Vancouver, Canada. Right now, 15.19% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 3.11 million shares overall are being shorted. Shorts have been very reactive to the stock price, really appreciating. So it went from roughly less than 1% short interest, and that was as of June the 30th, to where it is now at 15.19. So shorts have been really doubling down. Short score, so the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is sitting at 81.38. One thing I always like to bring up is this. So this is the available shares through IBKR, does indicate 15,000. So ultimately, if you do find some stocks with limited supply, you could see some buying going into this upcoming week, because big money loves to buy stocks just to lend out, and more notably BlackRock, Vanguard are kind of big culprits of that. They even have like presentations on how profitable it is to buy stocks just to lend out. So again, something to keep in mind. Cost to borrow through IBKR is 112.37%. That is a annual rate, not a daily rate. And with, of course, Friday, the market being closed, it is kind of skewing a lot of these numbers. Normally it does show cost to borrow average. It is showing NA again because of kind of the holiday. Side note, happy July the 4th. I know it kind of did pass, but for those of you that had a good weekend and whatever else, have at it. Aside from that though, moving on to the next one is a little bit more kind of speculative in nature, but ticker is WOLF. So Wolf Speed, it is sitting at $1.18, went up 52% on Thursday. Over the last 1 year, it is down 95.01%. So it's kind of going through the bankruptcy fears. I think right now the latest was more of a restructuring plan was submitted, but over the last 5 days, it is up 190%. So huge run as far as that. Seasonality, again, factoring in everything, over the last 10 years, it does go up 8.5%, but I think today and just the circumstances surrounding it, it makes this information not really that relevant, but in case you are curious, this is what they do. So industry is semiconductors, 5,013 employees based out of the States. As of right now though, shorts have been very reactive to the stock price. 47.45% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 73.2 million shares overall being shorted. Short score 83.81, and then through IBKR, it does indicate roughly 45,000 shares available. So this one definitely will be seeing some good buying from big money just to lend out. Cost to borrow through IBKR is 492.1. So IBKR, in my opinion, isn't always the highest, nor are they the lowest. So they're a pretty good average, in my opinion. So 492.1. Definitely, this stock is one to add to your watch list. If they are able to somehow survive the restructuring, then yeah, you could see this go up significantly. So definitely something to consider. Moving on to the next stock, you do have ticker ELWS. So Early Works Co. Sitting at $3.20. Over the last 1 year, it is up 42.86%, and then over the last 5 days, up 66.67%. As far as this goes, so it's not really been trading all that long, so this is why we don't have seasonality, but Company profile, it is based out of Japan, research and consulting services, 15 employees, founded in 2018. But right now, 50.91% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 419,000 shares. So shorts, again, similar to the other stocks, have been very reactive to the stock price, and this is exactly what big money or kind of Wall Street likes to squeeze, and at the same time what a lot of influencers like to bring up. A lot of heavily shorted stocks, low float. So this does meet that criteria. Short score is 81.01. Utilization is 83.04. One thing to take note of though is shares on loan is 337,000 versus the overall shares being shorted is 419. So of course that does kind of create a problem because there's more shares being shorted than on loan. So this is a very good example of naked shorting. So again, something to keep in mind. Ultimately, through IBKR, it does indicate a lonely 2,000 shares is available to be shorted. Cost to borrow is 185.44. So again, another very kind of heavily shorted stock, very overextended. Another reason to add them to your watch list. Moving on to the fourth one, ticker is CLRO, so clear one, sitting at $10 even over the last 1 year, pretty much flat, and then over the last 5 days up 80.51%. So definitely gaining some good momentum as far as that. Seasonality, July over the last 10 years does go up 4.4%. This is the company profile, so based out of Salt Lake City in the US. Communications equipment is the industry. 80 employees, founded in 1983. Through this though, 24.42% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 211,000 shares. So again, meets that criteria, heavily shorted, low float. A lot of people will be talking about that. Aside from that, short score is 81.43, and then through IBKR, it does indicate a lonely 5,000 shares is available to be shorted. Cost to borrow through IBKR is 391.74. So again, an annual rate, not a daily rate, very high stuff for that. And then last but not least, moving on to stock number 5, ticker is NOTE. So Physical Note Holdings, it is currently trading at 75 cents, went up 5.72 on the Thursday. Over the last 1 year, it is down 55.09%, but similar to the other stocks, it is gaining some pretty good momentum. Over the last 5 days, up 41.51%. Seasonality, July does go down over the last 4 years, on average roughly 5%. August, September, October, and November seem to be all red, again, over the last 4 years on average. So again, if you're looking to do some additional due diligence, but this is the company profile. So research and consulting services, 456 employees based out of Washington, D.C. in the States. Right now, it does indicate 15.94% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 13.13 million shares. Short score is 76.79. And you can kind of see shorts did recently return quite a lot, again adding some buying pressure to the overall stock, really helping it push higher. So it went from roughly 18 or almost 19% short interest to where it is now. But again, given the circumstances in the broader market, the huge momentum, you could see shorts return a little bit more, and thus causing it to go up a nice little squeeze. Through IBKR, it does indicate 600,000 shares is available to be shorted, which in reality is kind of a drop in the bucket. So you could see some buying going into this week. Cost to borrow is kind of on the low end, so it is sitting at 6.08. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Is there any other squeeze plays that you feel could kind of move higher? So let me know your general thoughts. And in case you haven't kind of watched a lot of my other videos in the past, I don't just choose the most heavily shorted stocks. I like to choose stocks that have some good pre-existing momentum, shorts being overextended. I feel like that is more advantageous than just choosing kind of very heavily shorted stocks. So again, that's kind of how I came to the basis for these 5 stocks. Let me know your thoughts. One thing I do want to kind of let you know about, I will be starting another YouTube channel with just squeeze plays. So I think going forward in the next little bit, I'll be doing this type of video on that channel, and I'll kind of link that in the description below for those of you that are interested. You can kind of pop over there, subscribe early on. I would greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing though, if you are looking for some solid buy signals, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, everything that you ever need in life. Link to that is in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.